Chefs, what red flags should people look out for when they go out to eat? If a restaurant has a huge menu. It's all frozen. Cisco, it's what's for dinner. Aramark? But for sure man. If they got lobster and pancakes on their diner menu, maybe one or more of those dishes isn't freshly prepared. Never order pancakes more than 100 miles from the shore. When the menus are super dirty and never cleaned, that means everything is super dirty and never cleaned. Waffle House. Ex-Waffle House cook. This is true. The stores where they give a shit, they follow the Waffle House Bible and clean them. I want a copy of the Waffle House Bible. Finally, a religion I can get behind. Praise be the waffle. If the area is busy but the restaurant is empty, that's usually a bad sign. I was burned by this once though. The parking lot was always super busy, cars parked there constantly. So we decided sure thing. We went, and it was horrible, filthy, and we all spent the rest of the night puking. Turns out local construction workers park in the parking lot. Parking lot. Restaurant. On the other hand, if you walk in and the restaurant is full of construction workers, you just found a damn good lunch dive. When I was in New York, there was a Chinese joint around the corner, and it was always full of construction workers. My friend said that's a good thing. Tried it, and it was amazing. Ask where your oysters come from. If they don't know, you don't want them. Works for most seafood. The ocean. Can you be more specific? The Pacific or Atlantic? The Pacific Ocean. Can you be more Pacific? Have you had Atlantic? If a restaurant has a one-page menu, that's usually a pretty good sign. It means their line cooks have become specialists and can usually nail all the dishes listed. Conversely, if a restaurant has a giant, multi-page menu, that's a gigantic red flag. The longer the menu, the better the odds that you're paying to eat a boiled bag frozen meal. Cook for a small Mexican restaurant here. I always look for how the staff interact with each other. If they all seem to enjoy being there and coordinate well, more often than not it's because everything is running smoothly and they have a good system, which usually means they know what they're doing and you can expect good food. That's how it always is for the smaller, family-run restaurants I frequent anyway, which I believe always have the best food. Pictures of food on the menu that clearly aren't from the restaurant. I designed a menu for a restaurant and left spaces for the pictures. They said they wouldn't send any and told me to take pictures from Google. I have never eaten there. I would like to add I had no idea what some of these dishes were. My favorite was house special, but they didn't know what that would be. I was told to add something nice. Food photography isn't easy to do well. Staging the dish to look attractive, taking the photo before the stuff cools down too much, appropriate background, color balanced and lit well, etc. Not something you can do with your camera phone and have it come out well. That sounds like a job for a college photography student who wants to eat a lot. Edit. You can stop commenting about corporate professional food shoots including varnish and shit on a comment about a local business hiring a college kid instead of using Google Images. We'll pay you with exposure every item on the menu. That's a really good deal if all you've eaten this month is ramen. Pastry chef here. As much as people say avoid specials, I can't speak for everyone, but at least in desserts, breakfast pastries, if you see something new it's worth trying. Chances are it's something the chef has been working on for weeks on their own time. There's a lot of love and effort put into it. Also, the standby if the menu is a book, it's probably not great. The biggest thing to keep an eye on though, emo, is the staff. If there's pissed off people, get out as fast as you can obviously. If everyone is kinda apathetic and not talking to each other much, get out. That's also a shitty environment, everyone is probably really passive aggressive, and that's going to show. If people seem genuinely good with being there even if it's busy or if there's playful ragging going on, that's where you want to be. The better the staff gets along, the better everything in the place runs. I have a family member who's worked in multiple different restaurants, and they always advise me never to get drinks with ice because too many places don't keep their ice machines clean because it's so often overlooked compared to other kitchen equipment. That's 99% of the places that serve ice. Dirty secret is that soda fountain size dispensers are notorious for being dirty. Not a chef, but I just took a chance on a restaurant today and the chefs were sitting, legs up, right next to the front door as I walked in. No one but staff and me there. So, according to how my stomach feels, probably that. Ooh God. Help. Do not point your asshole at anything you're not willing to destroy. Dirty stained carpets. I have no idea why anyone would open a restaurant and put carpet down. Carpets are a nightmare to clean and always look dirty after a year of being laid. Sound. Loud restaurants are becoming a major problem, so much so a New York food critic has started including dB readings in his reviews. There is even an app to report loud restaurants. Yup. After my mom had a brain tumor removed, she was really sensitive to loud noises. One of her favorite restaurants renovated from carpet to tile floors, and we had to stop going because the increase in loudness was too much for her. Edit. Since I keep getting replies on this, I'll paste what I've been replying with. For a bunch of reasons, it ended up being easier to get takeout and eat at home. Only a few minutes away, so not a huge issue. Not ideal, but she could still enjoy her favorite food, when she wasn't on chemo. She passed away at the end of last year, but thanks for trying to help. I'm not sure how well it would have helped someone in her situation, even though loud noises gave her a headache. She had difficulty hearing things that were too quiet. Hey, the solution here is simple: carpets on ceilings. Here in Morocco almost all the restaurants have it, and the innovation is spreading fast through Italy and into France. It is a guaranteed crowd pleaser and restaurants report close to 50% jump in takings. People just love being cocooned in their own private chat space, even when next to others. We have a sushi place where the chef gives you free samples of future dishes. This usually means they take pride in their work and want to see people's reactions before committing it to the menu. I have one of those places near my house too. Best sushi place ever. There's a Chinese restaurant in my town with a sign out front that says, "Clean food. And fresh." I still can't help but wonder why they would bring that up unprovoked. In China it's very common for a customer to ask about the freshness of the food, and the boss is usually happy to accommodate and answer truthfully. Just recently my mother went out and asked the boss how fresh was the shrimp and he admitted they're not too fresh and were actually frozen. Recommended the fish or something. All of it totally normal, no one offended. Not a chef but worked in food a lot. Carpet. Yeah, it's quieter and doesn't get slick, but it is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. I saw them pull it up when they remodeled, and put in more carpet. Vacuuming only goes so far in a restaurant, and I know they never, ever shampooed it. I clean carpet for a living, and yes, restaurants are often disgusting. The stuff we pull out is usually black slime because of grease and grit. Most of the people we clean for try their best to get clean regularly, but even then I find it hard to eat at those restaurants. If there is different cuisines on the same menu, it usually means it's not going to be good. I don't trust that people can do Japanese and Italian in the same kitchen. I'm suspicious of Japanese Thai restaurants. I don't know why people think those two cuisines go together, they're totally different. Edit. I guess it is just me that hasn't had good luck with Japanese Thai restaurants. But I travel a lot, so I've definitely noted specific restaurants that people have mentioned. Thanks. Yeah, all kind of Asian cuisine mix restaurants are odd. They are all totally different cuisines with different flavors. That's why I hate Elephant Bar. They have special dishes from different kinds of cuisine, but none of them are especially spectacular. If I want amazing sushi, I'll go to a sushi place. If I want good pho, I'll go to a pho place. I don't want to go to a place that does everything, but does it all mediocre. So you're saying the taco at the Chinese buffet isn't going to be good? I agree with most of these tips, but man, I remember my trip to Malacca, Malaysia. We walked up to a stall where an elderly lady was squatting down just in front of the sidewalk with a plastic basin and washing the dishes in it. Stray cats were coming in from the alley and licking at dishes. My first question was, is this a restaurant? Upon closer inspection, yes, it is. My second question was, who on earth would eat here? Then our guide brought us inside. Looks like we are. Food was amazing and delicious, and despite fearing the worst, nobody got sick. Edit. Wow, I didn't realize this comment would be so popular. Thanks Reddit. To answer the question, why would you even eat there? Our trip up until that point had been very well planned. Stayed in a great Holiday Inn with a delicious international breakfast buffet. Tour bus was very clean. The highlight of the trip was when they took us to a pineapple farm and we got to sample. Hint, supermarket pineapple has nothing on the fresh stuff. Most of the restaurants we had been taken to were, by Western standards, quite clean. This one was definitely an outlier in that regard, but by this point we had developed a trust in our guide. I would never have even thought to walk into this place on my own accord, but then I would have missed out on some amazing food. I should post some pictures. Pretty sure I have a pic of that cat.